What's a sign you're hotter than you realize?
Story 1.
Second glances. Granted, it could mean you're really busted, but typically a longer second look is an indication. My gut reaction is always, why are they staring? Somehow it feels like a threat, even if it is the reverse reason. Followed by looking in the reflection of the phone screen to check if there's something in my face. I've trained myself to not look at other people's faces in public, if I'm not interacting with them. Because if I notice multiple people are staring, I wonder what's wrong with me. I'm honestly convinced people just think I look weird. The last few weeks I noticed a lot more people looking at me. And I don't think they think I'm so hot without makeup, and looking like I haven't slept for 3 days. I sincerely thought people hated me. Eye contact is tough for me, and people just straight up stare me down. My friend explained that, no, they were staring at you to see if you noticed them. Everything makes more sense now.
Story 2.
When others point out how many people are flirting with you, and you just thought everyone is super friendly. For real. Talking to strangers like, what pleasant bunch of small talk. Then they say something awkward like, asking for your number, or try to touch you. I just thought you were being nice. I've tried explaining to my husband, the nice old man I was helping when I was a server, and having great conversation. The man then proceeds to proposition me. I'm sure my face visibly fell. It's hard to describe the feeling of disgust that wells up when you realize they have ulterior motive. I immediately went and dropped his check, and only came back to collect payment. Refused to serve him after that, despite the fact that he tipped me $60 on a $20 tab. My boyfriend has all these stories about women acting weird around him. And I'm like, dude, they have or had a crush on you. I pointed out to him that people stare at him on the street. He never noticed. My wife will come into the bar sometimes, and later she'll say, you know that girl was hitting on you, right? I'm like, no, who? The one that wanted to touch your beard. Oh, weird. It's only because I'm the bartender.
Story 3.
People are super friendly, and you get free stuff and discounts for no apparent reason. I remember that there was a coffee shop I used to go to. A woman who worked there always used to make friendly conversation with me, which I initially took as just friendly banter, and being nice to a customer. Then several times I got discounted or free coffee. One time I jokingly challenged her that she could get in trouble, and she said it was grand because she was the manager. Another time she said I looked nice in my work clothes, and I was just like, this is how I dress for work. Wouldn't consider myself super attractive. I'm fairly average, but it was soon pointed out to me by my ex, and my brother, who was with me on one of these occasions, that she was most definitely hitting on me. Didn't believe it until she gave me a free coffee and donut one day, for absolutely no reason. To be clear, this has never happened otherwise. So, I'm no Jude Law. But looking back, it seems glaringly obvious with the compliments and friendly chat, which I just saw as her being friendly to a customer. My ex even got sort of upset I kept availing of the free coffee. Bit of an ego lift looking back. I'm a 5'7" dude, and average looking.
Story 4.
For women, if men are inexplicably kind. For men, if women are inexplicably attentive. I didn't understand this until I aged out of male attention. Wow, men are a lot less friendly and chatty than I thought. I'm living a similar dynamic from a different perspective. I'm an older man, and apparently still somewhat handsome. And I endeavored during COVID to start seeing people I encounter. Look them in the eye. Genuinely ask them how they're doing in the checkout line, drive-through, etc., and wait for an answer. whether male or female. Life is rough, let's show each other caring. A couple of times a month a woman takes it as flirting and indicates that it's game on, and I get all embarrassed like, wait, no, stop. I am a woman who has been young and okay looking. Not at all hot. Had twins at 38. Ate loads, got fat. And then got older woman kind of hot at 40. Oh, the difference in how men have treated me has been incredible. If you're conventionally attractive, men help you. My kid spilled a drink at the airport while the Super Bowl was on. And some man at the next table got napkins and helped me mop up. Men make space for you if you look hot. You're invisible if you don't. I think that's just generally if you're conventionally attractive or unattractive. I used to model, and had to go on a high dose of prednisone for 2 months, and swelled up, moon face and all. And the difference in how I was received was jarring. From neutral, but frequent, looks from women to negative, disgusted expressions. People would find it more acceptable to unload their bad behaviors on me. And it got so bad I had to numb myself emotionally every time I went out just to manage. I eventually stopped going out unless absolutely necessary. One time I went to this Greek restaurant while I was still swollen, and the manager was visibly upset that I had entered, with the kind of arm expressions like they were shooing me away, but didn't want to be explicit about it to my face, and kind of frustratedly and angrily threw up their hands like they had the absolute worst luck in the world. Only changed their tune once they started talking to me, and realized I'm not a gross person. Who knew? As a gay man, it's kind of interesting to notice when I hang out with my female friends. I notice that I am pretty much invisible to straight men, and they're very attentive to my friends. At my work, there's a security guard that has never even nodded at me, or acknowledged my existence. Then one day I was going up the elevator with a new female colleague. And for the record, she is very pretty. And that same security guard looked at her, smiled, and asked how her day was going. He even remembered her name after just a few days. And I, likely, remain invisible to him. LOL.
Story 5.
You get called pretty by babies. Yes, this goes both ways too. A child once told me I looked like a princess. It was super cute. Another time a child asked me why I had all these things on my face. It was my acne. So yeah, I still regularly think about both children. I had a glow up a couple years ago, and I still didn't feel great about myself. One day I was walking through a local park, and as I was passing these two very small girls with their mom, the girls excitedly shouted at me that I was so pretty. And I never felt as beautiful as I did in that moment. LOL.
Story 6.
When my wife got all dazzled up for a night out and asked me to meet her out, I came straight from working on a farm, and didn't have time to change. Just came dressed normally, in only decently clean farm cloths. She got a bit annoyed that I was getting all kinds of flirtatious attention instead of her at the bar, since she thought and she was looking really good. Turns out my wife and I don't go out enough to know where the trendy spots are for gay men. Also turns out I am considered to be a very manly and attractive bear. Honestly, I never knew I was hot and desirable. My wife jokes that one of our favorite drinking spots turns into a gay bar during the weekly karaoke night. Here I am, just enjoying my drink and cheering on my wife, and I'll casually compliment a guy who absolutely nailed his cover of "I'd Do Anything for Love." We talk about how much we like meatloaf, and suddenly he's asking for my number, or he gives me wife a bit of a glare or confused look when she hops off stage to come kiss me. Apparently giving a man a compliment and giving him a beer because bro, so awesome, I love that song, comes across very differently than I thought it did.